Howdy, my name is Thomas Seaver, and welcome to my episode of Aggies with Artifacts. In this video, I will present to you an article of clothing that is important to the military service past of my family's history. While it may just seem like an old button-up shirt and pair of pants, it is quite the opposite and means more to my family than just any ordinary article of clothing. It is a United States Army uniform that belonged to my great-uncle Guy Seaver Jr. They are standard military issue for the time and are a green olive color. The shirt has a neck size of 15.5 inches and is 35 inches long, with the sleeves being 21 inches in length, while the pants have a waist size of 32 inches and are 40 inches in length. On the shirt, there are many different badges and pins with different meanings. First, on both the right and left sleeves are the badge that indicates his rank. This badge shows that he was a technician 4th grade and addressed as a sergeant. To have this rank during World War II required special abilities and skills that my great-uncle possessed. Next, there is a small patch with 2 service stripes on the lower left sleeve. These 2 stripes indicate that my great-uncle served 6 years in overseas combat. On the collar, there are 2 gold pins that designate which branch of the Army he is a member of. On the epaulets, there are matching pins that signify his membership of the 1st Reconnaissance Troop of the 1st Infantry Division. On the right shoulder, there is a red cord that most likely represents an award that his unit received, but without his service record, I was unable to find the exact meaning of the cord. Above the left pocket, there is a ribbon rack that has 3 ribbons on it, with those being the Army of Occupation Medal, the European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal, and lastly, the World War II Victory Medal. The most well-known and recognizable feature of the uniform would have to be the patch on the left shoulder that indicates that my great-uncle was a member of the 1st Infantry Division, which has come to be known as one of the most famous units in U.S. military history with the nickname the Big Red One. The look of the patch on the shoulder is what earned them the nickname of the Big Red One. The unit is so renowned that there was a movie made about them that was released in 1980. The 1st Infantry Division was founded in 1917 during World War I and still exists and are currently based in Fort Riley, Kansas. My great-uncle, like many men at the time, felt it necessary to serve our country and did so with honor and pride. The United States had just entered World War II after the events at Pearl Harbor, and many had to step up and fight for our country and defend all of those at home. During the war, the 1st Infantry Division was always among the first arriving on the ground fighting, whether it was in England or the combat in northern Africa and Sicily, and even on the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. The Big Red One was there to take a stand. Eventually, they were the first to capture a major German city and continued to occupy Germany until the end of the war. The uniform was made for my great-uncle in the 1940s and likely manufactured in a military uniform warehouse within the United States and given to him when he was on base. The uniform currently is in my possession as my father gave it to me after it was given to him by his cousin Jackie, who is Guy Seaver Jr.'s daughter. My family came into possession of the uniform after Guy passed away, and it has been in our home ever since. This uniform is important to my family because it represents the proud military background that runs throughout my family tree. My family on both sides has a strong history of serving our country, and that is not something that just goes away over time, as we continue to talk about the time that they served for the military in the different branches whenever we bring up old stories and memories that my parents and grandparents have from their experiences in and around the life in the military. My generation in my family is the first to not serve for the military in any form or fashion. While this might be sad to some of the older people in the family, this makes the uniform especially valuable to me as it represents a part of my family that no longer exists but will not be forgotten. The uniform's dimensions are something that caught the interest of me and my family, as we did not think that any of us would be able to fit into the uniform based on how skinny and lanky my great-uncle was. I eventually tried it on, and throughout much of a struggle, I was able to try it on to the surprise of everyone. I also found it interesting that fashion nowadays definitely draws from uniforms like this from the past, as I could see many people wearing these pants as a fashion statement rather than a uniform. This uniform represents one of the greatest and widely recognized military divisions ever, and its recognition has been earned over the decades of honorable men serving in the Army. Without the soldiers who served for this division, I cannot say that we would be living in the world we know today, and I am grateful for their service they provided and all other military personnel.